Now that you're out in Nashville and you love it out here, you think you might be a country singer one day?
No, absolutely not. You know what? And I'll sing my heart out to some Nickelback. You put some Nickelback on the speakers, I'll sing my heart out.
You're listening to Studio 22.
Welcome to Studio 22. I'm Brock O'Hearn. I'm here with my co-host Will Meldman, and we are sitting with Ryan Johansen. How's it going, man?
Awesome, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Dude, thanks for coming on, man.
Love it.
Doing a lot of podcasts these days?
Now the season's over, yeah. I love how you guys got the Troubadour swag going now. Welcome to Nashville.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dude.
Thank you. It's my first time.
Happy to be here. And Troubadour makes some good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This place is special. We've everyone, all the locals, myself coming out here, it's like, you know, you have your things and that make you happy and things you want to do with your life, and it's like, man, a golf course that I can live on with a bunch of great people around, and it's nothing better.
When did you first get into the game of golf?
Oh, it was right away, actually, because I'm Canadian. I'm from Vancouver. So my old man, when I was like 2 years old, took me to the driving range, and he brought my hockey stick because he's like, well, the kid might have a tough time hitting the ball, like his first time going to a driving range. So I'll bring his hockey stick with the blades like this big. So he was sending me all this old footage earlier in the year of me on the range just with a hockey stick and all these people looking down like, who are these guys?
That's actually really smart.
Yeah,
I never thought about that. It's kind of a little Happy Gilmore.
Exactly, yeah. Just whacking it away having the time of my life. So that's where it all started. And I've played golf my whole life. I love it. I think there's nothing better. I think it's the best sport in the world. I really do. And like, there's no other sport you can go be on the sunshine, travel around, see all those locations with buddies, and be outside, and all the skill levels don't matter. You just have the old handicap, and it's even.
That's great, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you like the course here at Troubadour?
Phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Everything about it. It's just a fun golf course. It's what I love about it, and I love about golf courses is each time you play it, you respect it more and you appreciate it more and more, and that's kind of this place for me, in my opinion. It's just the more time you spend out here, the more you enjoy it. For
hockey, when did you start playing?
Kind of the same time frame, 3-4. You start skating and getting on skates, and then growing up in Canada, obviously that's the number one sport. Like baseball and football aren't very popular. For me, it was golf, lacrosse, and then and hockey. So you do golf and lacrosse kind of the summer, and then hockey in the winter. And so those were the three for me. And yeah, that's all I really played growing up.
I'd love to play lacrosse with you. I grew up playing like fourth grade on, and like fell in love with the game completely. In California, it's tough to like really, get consistent with hockey, but we had lacrosse everywhere, and like, it's just such a beautiful game.
It is. It's a phenomenal game. Very similar to hockey, I find, too.
So when you played all these sports, when did you really start to focus on hockey?
You know what? I was coming for hockey. I was kind of a late bloomer. So I played in a place called Penticton, which is like 4 hours from Vancouver. And the next year was my draft year. And kind of a crazy story. I'll tell it quicker. It's I was like a healthy scratch all the time, which means you're not in the lineup. Like you're not good enough to be in the lineup. And I was a 16-year-old kid, ages 16 to 20. And my coach came up to me in like 20 games in. I was like this little puppy, right? And he was like, "Hey, like, I'm gonna get you to video our game tonight so we can, break down our team's game, and we can like do all the video film and stuff and go over things." And I'm like, yeah, like, oh, sure, no problem. Like, whatever you need. Just like an innocent kid, like happy to be there. And so I'm up in the stands and I'm like videoing our team's game with the fans like all around. And I'm just like, holy moly, what's going on? But I was like, whatever, like I'll wait for my chance kind of. And I actually wanted to quit hockey. Like fast forward a couple months after that, I wasn't playing. I'd play like 3 shifts a game. And like, back when I was coming into junior, there was still a lot of tough guys around. And so like I played with 2 guys who would just step on the ice and find someone and fight them. And I'm like this little puppy who's just soft. Like I don't want no business in fighting. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like I should just go back and like work or go to school to like do something. And I called my dad and I was like in tears, and I'm like on the road somewhere, and I'm like, "Dad, like you got to come pick me up." like I'm done. Like I don't know why I'm doing this. Like I don't play. I don't do anything. Like I should find something else to focus on. And my dad's like, son, like you love this game more than anyone. I've never seen anyone love this game as much as you do. You need to trust me on this. You need to keep going. I promise you, like it'll work out. I'm like, Dad, it's been 6 months, like doing this every day, working my butt off, doing everything I can. And I'm like, I'm done. Like I'm checked out completely. I'm like, I need you to come pick me up. He's like, no. He's like, I need you to trust me on this one, son. And I was like, that went on for a while, and I was like, all right, fine, Dad. Like, all right, I'll listen to you. And then our best player got injured. He blew out his shoulder or something, and they were like, coach was basically like, all right, who's next? Like, who do I put in? And looked at me. He's like, all right, put me on like the second line, and like, boom. I just like was like, here's my chance. I'm not looking back. And like just took off, scored a bunch of goals and all that. And then a year and 2 months later, I was drafted 4th overall in the NHL. And it was just like, boom. And I was like, I look back and I've had some, like my dad's retirement party and things like that. And I'll tell that story to around because it's so good for kids to hear because you all go through those points and whatever it is, right? You're like, hey, this just isn't working out. It's too hard or I'm not getting a chance. And it's like, man, you do what you love. You stick with it. You keep grinding. And I look back and people, when I tell that story, and kids especially, they're just like, wow, I had a tough year and like a couple crappy months and my coach didn't give me ice time and this and that. And it's like, man, you just wait for that opportunity, you work your butt off for that opportunity and then you do what you do. And if it doesn't work out, you got your opportunity, you gave it your all, it doesn't work out. But for me, it was a late bloomer and I kind of got lucky, had that chance. And then boom, it was like, wow, okay, here I am. I'm in the NHL.
That's great.
Yeah,
man.
it was crazy.
Just completely seizing the opportunity, right? Like you stuck with it, and then you got it, and then like happened seems like instantaneously almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that happened right at the end of that year, and then it's called the Western Hockey League where I went, and it's just a step up kind of. And at the start of the year, I was ranked in the 4th or 5th round in the NHL in the draft in those mock drafts, and I was like, Dad, did you see the mock draft that whoever comes out with all these knuckleheads that just come up with these whatever lists? And he's like, I saw it, son. Like, keep working. Like, it could get drafted in the NHL. And I'm like, boom. And I just kept working and working and working and had an unbelievable playoffs that year. And then I was ranked like 8th to 10th overall going into the draft. It was in LA, actually, my draft at Staples Center. And then like 2 days before, like, the GM just loved the way I played in playoffs. And when he came and watched me and was like, that's our guy, I'm taking him. And I was like, holy crap. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Yeah. So what was it like that moment you just found out that you were drafted 4th?
It was crazy. Like I actually, the night before I had a big meeting I was drafted Columbus Blue Jackets, and I had a big meeting with them all their staff. And we went over a bunch of stuff, and then they told my agent and my family we're drafting Ryan. And so we do a big dinner with all your family and your agents in LA, and then they're like, we're getting drafted 4th overall. So kind of funny story. So my parents just blow it out. They're in the hotel. We got family, friends all in, and they're like, this is insane. So they just rip it up and party their faces off. And so I wake up the next morning and I'm like, wow, I'm getting drafted today, 4th overall. The GM of Columbus calls my agent and said, hey, we want to meet with Ryan one more time. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, they're going to bring me in and be like, this is our plan. We're excited to have you. Can't wait to call your name. And I walk in and they just rip me for like an hour. Like, I'm talking like, they're like, Rick Nash was the captain in Columbus at the time. And they're like, okay, so I want you to put yourself in a game. You're playing with Rick Nash. You guys are on the bench, and Nasher says let's do this on the ice. Try this play. Like, and you totally disagree with it. You think it's like wrong. It's not going to work. What do you say to Rick Nash? And I'm like, well, he's a veteran, like 6-time All-Star, Rocket Richard Trophy winner. Like, I'd be, I'd just like listen to him and trust him and go do my thing. So, and he's like, so you want to go out there and hurt the team? You know what's wrong. And I'm like, no, like, he's a captain. Like, I'm going to listen to my captain and do whatever. And they were like, okay, so we might draft you and put you on the ice, and you're going to be doing things that aren't going to help the team. And I'm like, what is going on? So I leave this meeting, and I'm like, oh, I'm not getting drafted to Columbus. Like, they just ripped me like that for an hour, like the same questions. And I was just like, so now I'm sitting in the Staples Center, and I'm like so nervous. And they ended up calling my name. And like later that night, I was like, what was that all about? I'm just like so confused. So I get back to the hotel. You got to do all this media and all this crap. And I get back to the hotel, and I go see my parents in my room. I saw them right when I was drafting, that I haven't seen them for 5 hours. So I go to their hotel room. They're like next door to me or something. And my mom and dad are on the bed, like dead. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, because one of our friends had this bigger room that we're all going to go meet up and have some drinks. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we're going to bed. And I'm like, your son just got drafted 4th overall in the NHL. Like, we're going to have some drinks right now. And my dad's like, nope. Like, we burnt it last night. Like, I'm dead. And I'm like, you guys are losers. So I went up. Their friends stayed up, which is great, but they were so tired. It's funny to look back at them like, you guys, it's great.
Well, it seems like that question is designed almost to, like, no matter which way you answer it, they could say it's wrong, right? Like, it's almost like a haze where it's like they almost intentionally wanted to do that. Because, like, you could obviously argue, like falling in line and doing what your captain wants you to do helps the team.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like that could go either way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely sounds like a test of almost a reverse psychology of like, what's this guy going to do?
I know.
Yeah.
So I was just like stuck to my guns. I was like, hey, he's our captain. He's one of the best players in the NHL. Like, I'm going to trust him, what he says, and I'm going to follow him. So who knows if they were like, maybe he was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to tell Nasher I disagree with him. Then they'd be like, oh, okay, so this kid's going to come in and like disagree with our captain.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So who knows? I've never figured out why.
Well,
it sounds like you made the right choice, whatever you did, man.
Yeah. I guess.
Cool. How were those first years in Columbus?
It was awesome, man. Such a great place for me to start my career. And kind of the thing that I took all the motivation for and about was it was a poor team. Like, they struggled. They only made the playoffs once in like 10 or 15 years or something like that. So coming in as a high pick, I was like, you know what? I can be one of the guys who turns this around, who like makes Columbus a great hockey team and playoffs and contend for the cup. Like, I can be that guy. I can take the ship and run. And so coming in, that was all my motivation, was to be the guy that turned Columbus around and made it a great place to play. And I thought I had some great years there. I was there for 5 years and then made the playoffs once when I was there. The first 2 years when I was a puppy, it was a shit show. But then we made the playoffs once, and then we were supposed to like be cup contenders the year I got traded. And we won like 8-1, like 3 out of the 4 preseason games. And like we were on top of the world, brought in a couple players. And our goalie, Bobrovsky, was a stud. And then boom, we lost the first 7 games to start the season. And we were like, anything could go wrong was going wrong. And it was like, holy moly. And then we brought in John Tortorella. And then 3 months after that, I was gone. I went to Nashville.
Oh, wow.
They traded me to Nashville right after that.
What were some of those early lessons in the NHL in that first phase where it's like, welcome to the NHL?
There's so many, man. Like, I just finished 11 years now, and it's like you still learn like all the time. It's the big thing for me was learning how to be a pro. Like, I could always just go out there and play and like do what I do and play hockey, but to be a pro is something I had to learn. Just the day-to-day things that seem simple, but like they're not, is like the day-to-day, how you take care of your body, how you lead, how you make people around you better, how you make yourself better, how you train, all that stuff. And you to be elite at all of it, and to be like where guys around you are all on the same page. And that's something that I didn't really learn at a high level, probably till a year after I was in Nashville. And then Nicky Foligno came into Columbus and was great for me. And then I had some other guys too. And then I had Mike Fisher and Shea Weber here in Nashville that like where I was kind of at like 80% of doing everything great. They took me up to my max potential.
Hell yeah.
And now it's really cool to look back and to be grateful for those guys and give them credit every time I see them, because, you know, now you get the young kids coming up to you being like, man, you were so good for me this year. Like, you helped me so much, and it's fun following you and watching you do your thing. And that's so fulfilling to be older now and just be able to give the guys credit down throughout my career. And so that's been fun.
We were talking with Brant Snedeker, and, you know, he had mentioned his first time at Augusta playing with Freddie Couples, and kind of had a tough start, and, you know, not really playing up to his potential.
Yep.
And Freddie comes over and just puts his arm around him. He's like, look, it's all good. Just play your game and let's go.
He's like, we all do it, right? So
100%.
Yeah.
And like, it just seems like that can be such a helpful thing for young players in any sport, right? That mentorship and that guidance.
Well, you know what the thing what you just said and what Sned said to you, like, Sned's is a veteran pro. He doesn't forget that.
Right.
He remembers that. That made a difference to him. That made a huge impact on him. And whether Freddie will ever know that or not, and whether when I do things I don't really know it or not, it's just natural. Those moments like make you realize, man, this is just a game. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a game. Like, I have a bad game or we lose a game, it's like you look at some of your teammates and you're like, all right, like, we lost. Yeah, we played bad, but it's just a game. Like, we'll be back. We'll play again in 2 days. But those moments where an older veteran guy grabs you and someone who's seen it all and been around to take a moment to like show you and take you under his wing, is you don't forget moments like that in sports and probably everything in life. Like, you get someone that takes time and just reminds you that, hey, like, you deserve to be here. You know, you're not having a day you'd like, but it's all good. And that's what I would say to that, is I think Sned's, you know, that's probably a moment in his career where now he saw that from an older guy, where now he learned from that. And I'm sure he does that to a lot of young golfers, where a lot of young golfers now will look back in 20 years and tell the same story.
yeah, man, pay it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, is there any advice maybe you'd give young guys coming up in hockey?
It's a lot of things you can always do for me as I've gotten older, and, you know, because it's tough to say to kids, like, work hard. Like, you just got to work hard, and the guy next to you, like, yeah, that's all true. And, like, you know, for me, I'm all about the fun part of it. I was raised with tremendous parents, and my dad was like, I owe all the credit to him for where I'm at today, which is he's the most positive person ever. And it's just incredible, really. And like, for me, it's like when I talk to kids, and it's all about having fun. Like, just have fun. Like, work hard and have fun. Like, do what it takes to win. Do what it takes to make yourself better, make your teammates better, and enjoy doing it. Because, like we just talked about, it's just a game. Like, it's just a game, and you just got to go out there and enjoy it. And still today, like, 11 years in the league, for me, my teammates sit on the plane after a game, and we're like, it's just a game. Like, and we have fun and we smile, and it's so important to just enjoy it, because you see so many kids that are like training 12 months a year, like grinding, and it's like, man, like, go out and golf. Like, go play some pickleball. Like, just enjoy your life. Have fun. Like, like, just enjoy what you do.
I have friends who are now mentors in the acting, producing space.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're high level people, and they tell me, man, they're like, enjoy your life, because I worked through my 30s, you know, and even some of them even their 40s, and it flew by, so they don't remember anything, because all they were doing was the work, you know. And it's, at the end of the day, you got to realize we have lives, you know, and your life experience. Yeah, you can want to be the greatest, but if you're not enjoying your life and moments together, making memories, you know, those little small things.
Absolutely.
What's it for, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's what I bring to my team is I'm not a guy who sits in the gym for 8 hours and like drooling in the mirror, you know, like, I'm not, that's just not who I am. And I think, like,
I'm like, shit, that's me. That's why you're laughing. I already know.
Yeah, not the drooling over yourself.
But that was going to be my next point, but that's just not me. And
Yeah.
some of my teammates are like that, and they're just like trained like crazy.
Yeah.
And that's very important to them, and that's what makes them click. And that's what they bring to our team.
Yeah.
For me, my aspect is the positivity and the fun. Like I walk into a room after a loss, I'm like, hey, we lost. Like, you know, we're going to Montreal. Let's have a nice dinner and hang out and have some fun. And or in the summer, like, you know, you enjoy your time. And my leadership is I embrace the role of just being I try and be the best teammate ever. Like when I retire, like a lot of guys want to, like, you look at Michael Jordan, like he just wanted rings, nothing but rings. And it's amazing. Like but like, I don't want to win like that. I don't want my teammates to be like, yeah, he was a hard on me teammate. Like he beat me to the ground. Like, yeah, it's incredible, but it's just different for me. Like if I'm going to win, I want my teammates and myself to be like, I did it the way I wanted to. I had so much fun. I enjoyed it. I want all my teammates to be like, man, he was one of the best teammates I ever had. Like we had so much fun together. And that's how I want to do it. And everyone's different, but
yeah, and you're doing your thing, right? And you're bringing your own uniqueness in, and it's like that positivity is infectious, man. And it's very easy, especially in a team sport, I'm sure, to pick up the mindset of someone else around you. And if someone's being negative, it's like, then it can bring it can change the whole game, right? And if you're just always being a great teammate, you're gonna get better games, better experience. You know, you're gonna have better camaraderie. It's the whole, and then celebrations afterwards. You know,
absolutely. And I feel like you gain a lot more respect of the teammates too. The way if you approach it like that, like so when you do have moments where you're like, hey kid, like this needs to be better, he appreciates it because you care about him. You take time and you have fun with them, and you're positive with them all the time. And then when there are moments where you need to wake someone up, it's like, you know, he looks at you and he's like, oh, okay. Doesn't do that very often, so you know I better wake up.
It makes me want to be your teammate. But like, think of how many Freddie Couples moments you probably have with players, right? Like that, like you said, you might not even know about, like because it could just be those small things. Like, oh my God, Ryan just really helped me today, and that will like stick with them forever. I totally agree. It's like sometimes it takes, you know, years and years to understand like the important stuff, like the relationships and the memories and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, that's what people are going to remember, right? Not like the hard ass coach that was like, no, fucking go, go, go. But like those little moments that really actually were more effective than a hard ass coach, right? Like,
absolutely. No, I sit here today and, you know, you can always be better and you can always be doing more. I could be more successful. Could have won a cup by now, maybe. But I'm also very proud of the fact that I have a lot of great relationships in the league and then just hockey and I feel like, you know, I've been a good leader and a good role model for the younger kids and how they should treat their teammates and operate and you know, I'm one of those guys always as a young kid live with me every year. I want to bring them in and just show them how to have fun and be a great teammate and do things the right way. And I couldn't tell you how many of them over the years I've just been like, wow, like you're so great for me. You're awesome. Like, but I only do that to kids and younger guys that I know they'll do the same thing.
right.
Like if I have kind of like an arrogant younger kid, like, yeah, I'll always work with them and teach them. But I love bringing in a kid that I kind of see myself. And I feel like he's going to pass it on and do the same thing. For me, that's like awesome because they just have great character at a young age. And you're like, hey, that kid's going to be a great leader. And I see a lot of upside in him. So I want to bring him in, show him the right way early and do all the things that I was taught. And then they come back to me in a year or two and they're like, man, like you're an awesome teammate. Like, you're so great for me. So, like coming into the league and I'm like, you know, he's going to do the same thing for a young kid and pass that down. So that's fulfilling to me.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Do you have any favorite moments on and or off the ice?
I had a lot of good ones off the ice. But, I mean, we had a Stanley Cup run here in Nashville in 2016, and it was off the charts. Like, I wish you guys could have seen this city. It was incredible.
Well, I was watching on TV.
Oh
but
man,
I wish I was here. Yeah,
this city, like, it was nuts. So that Stanley Cup run was incredible. That was probably the most fun or enjoyment of just the hockey here in Nashville. And you know, I said to our general manager at the end of this year, we did exit meetings we do it every year after the year, and we just talk about plans in summer, what they want from us, what they liked about our year, and all that stuff. And I just said at the end, I want to thank you guys. Like, I hope you know from just coming from a player how much we love playing here, how much we respect you guys. Like, you guys have built a culture here in Nashville where everyone loves to play here. We're all grateful to play here, and it's so enjoyable to do what we do here in Nashville, and you guys make it so much fun, and it really is, in my opinion, the best place to play in the league, and we love it.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man.
I'm really excited to get to know this city. You know what I mean? Like, I love traveling and love getting to meet new people and getting out there. And, I think over the next few days, we'll get a chance to do that. But, like, you're getting me fired up to get out there in Nashville.
Man, for me, it's the energy. Like, I'm from Vancouver, and I got traded here. And I'm like, okay, I'm retiring here. After a year, I'm like, even if I got traded tomorrow, like, I'm still going to come back and live here and retire. Like, for me and my personality, it's like, it's so laid back. The energy is just, it's like Vegas. Like, no one's not having fun. Everyone's having the time of their life. Like they're just, everyone's smiling. There's so much to do. And I just love that. Like, I like how you don't have to go to a restaurant, like, dress up nice or wear a $500 t-shirt. Like, I can just wear my Troubadour shirt and go to any restaurant. And like, I just love how easygoing it is. And for me, it's the best place in the country for sure to live in.
Yeah. You big fan of music?
Yeah, huge music guy.
Yeah. A lot of live music out here.
A lot of live music.
Yeah.
So growing up, like, country music actually is huge back home. And then moving here and just like get to know people and come out here, and next thing you know, you're like just naturally hanging out with like music superstars. And it's kind of cool. And a lot of people around here will say, and even a lot of the workers here at Troubadour, they're like, wow, hockey players and country artists are so similar. Like, you guys, just like the reputation we both have, it's like, because you get a lot of the arrogance in other sports, but country music and hockey, they're like, you guys just personality and are identical. Because if, a country guy is getting out of hand, acting like an idiot, like, some of the older boys will be like, hey, kid, like, no. And they're like, when they do tours, right? Like, you got the headliner, say Luke Bryan, and someone else, some younger kid is like opening up for them. Like, if, they watch how those older guys act and like how they do it, how they carry themselves all the time. Same thing for us. When we're young coming in the league, we have older guys that show us the way. And it's like, I know, it's just the culture in both is pretty cool. And it's interesting to hear workers, just regular everyday workers out wherever you are, just compare us like that.
That's great. Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's exactly, you mentioned Luke Bryan, Cole, who was just on Cole Swindell, was saying that as he was watching basically Luke and what he was doing, and it helped him become more professional.
Yeah.
And when he stepped into the space where now it's his turn, he was ready, because he saw everything Luke Bryan was doing.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Yeah.
Cool story about Cole, because you just had him on. So we just started hanging out for the first time or two, and he comes over and we're sitting around a fire just chilling, maybe having a couple drinks, can't remember, but we're sitting there, and he's like, hey dude, like, I want to show you guys a song, like, I've been working on it, I don't know if it's gonna be a big one or if it's good, or I just want to get you guys' opinion. And I'm like, yeah, because we all love music and whatever, and so I'm like, yeah, we'll listen to it, of course. And it was every single Saturday night.
No way.
And he's just like, do you think this has potential? And I'm like, I just when White Claws were like just exploding, and I'm like, dude, everyone's gonna, I'm like, you're gonna make White Claw a lot of money too with this song.
Oh yeah, right, dude, that's awesome.
But that's just like a day in Nashville.
Yep.
I'm like, you guys have seen too now, spending some time here, like, it's just like a regular day, and all those country guys are so humble and easygoing, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I had that happen with Tim McGraw's song "Humble and Kind." I heard it way before, and he was like, from what I was hearing, a little nervous to put it out there. A couple of songs on that album, man. And it was like, I was listening to it, I was like, we couldn't turn it off, man.
No,
it's just such a good song, and when you hear that beforehand, it's amazing to see the trajectory of like. You hear it and and then everyone else hears it, and it's at the top of the charts now. No big deal. Yeah.
Totally. I became best friends with Chase Rice, and you guys have got him on tomorrow. He's awesome, dude. And we were hanging out one night, and we were having beers at my house, and he's like, all right, I'm tired, I'm going home. And I'm like, all right, like, whatever. I gave him a hard time probably. And he goes home, And he wakes up and he's like, I think I wrote like one of the best songs I've ever done. And I'm like, really? I'm like, can't wait to hear it. And it was his new one, If I Were Rock and Roll. I don't know if you guys have heard it.
Yeah.
But
Damn.
I'm taking a little credit. I had some beers.
Hey.
Went home and he was like, just because you always write it with songwriters, right? They always do it with songwriters or other people for the most part. He was on his couch, just had a couple ideas, and boom. And he said to me now, and I'm sure, unless he lied to me, I'm sure he'll say it. He was like, this is my favorite song. Like, I'm most proud of this song that I've done. And I think that's so cool. Like,
That's so cool.
I feel like
that's like a day in Nashville. Like,
day in Nashville, baby. I feel like that's the best way too for like creativity to strike. Like it literally just hits you.
Yeah.
And it's like write it down, record it, whatever you got to do. Like just do it. Like fuck yeah.
It's crazy. He's got like his little notes on his phone, and I'll say something stupid, and he'll pull out his phone and like, I'm like, you just write that down. He's like, yeah, like I got if I liked it, so I'm gonna write it down and then just look at it later on. And I'm like,
That's great.
Makes sense, sure.
I got friends who do that with a lot of times. Like we have a big friend group, and if you get some good jokes, and the next thing you know, it's in one of our friends' movies, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I said that in like 2017 with the group, and everyone was laughing. I'm like, now you're listening to it on the big screen.
Yeah.
It's funny the way that works, man.
Yeah, I should be getting some cash for that.
Yeah, where's the credits
Right,
at? No. Would you
That's
ever?
awesome.
Now that you're out in Nashville and you love it out here, you think you might be a country singer one day?
No, absolutely not. You don't want to. And I'll sing my heart out to some Nickelback. You put some Nickelback on the speakers, I'll sing my heart out.
That's
Dude,
good.
we both love like all types of rock and roll, country, all of that. I mean, we were just talking about that with Cole too, just like genres of music, and like there's a different mood for every type of music, right?
Yeah.
Like your pregame playlist is not going to be your post game or beach playlist, right? Like they're all gonna be different,
Right.
But yeah, like even within country, there's like different subgenres for every moment. We saw fucking music, love fucking music. It's great.
Oh, a funny story. So I wrote on my golf balls. I personalized golf balls, and I wrote "I love Nickelback" on them, just because I get a hard time for the most part, right? Yeah. They're like, "Oh, Nickelback." I'm like, you guys don't even know why you don't like Nickelback. Like, they're great. You just like
if you
everyone gives them a hard time, so you're like, so everyone gives them a hard time.
Yeah.
So Joey Moy, I don't know if you know who that is, produced or was one of the producers or something for Nickelback for a bunch of years.
Got it.
And he was sitting up at the bar up there at Luther's, and we're having a beer after the round, and I meet him, and because whoever introduced us knows I'm like a big Nickelback guy. So I was like, man, it's great to meet you. Like, this is awesome. And he's like, he's like, are you actually like a Nickelback fan? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, one sec. I went and grabbed my golf balls. I'm like, dude, look. So he's the guy from the song Photograph, and it's like, where it goes like, and what's on Joey's head? You know that part?
Okay, yeah.
Maybe, probably not. Not a fan. I'll send you the song.
No. I got to show Nickelback on my phone now. I'll do it after.
So that's the guy, Joey. And I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm like, he's like, wow, really? You're actually a huge Nickelback fan? I'm like, yeah, I am. Damn right.
I might not have Photograph. I have If You Remind Me.
Yeah.
And then I have, which is like
gotta have Rockstar.
Rockstar.
I mean, that's just the best sing along ever.
I don't understand why so many people don't like Nickelback.
I'm telling you.
You know what I mean though? Like I love Nickelback, dude. Nickelback's great.
They're great.
Colby Calais lives near me, and we became friends, and we were just talking about it the one day, and she's like, dude, me and my band, we make fun of Nickelback all the time. I'm like, why? She's like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah. She's like, every song sounds kind of the same. And I'm like, yeah, every song's great. Like, so it's just
that's the truth, though, man.
Just ripping her. I'm like, come on.
No, dude, they're
I got
awesome.
their back. Moral of the story.
Hell yeah. We do too. We'll support you in that mission.
Thank you.
That's absolutely it, man. Yeah.
What do you think it is about Troubadour that makes it unique?
For me, being out here, it's like Disneyland for adults. First of all, it's like it's hard to leave this place sober, and it's hard to leave this place. I mean, you can't leave this place without having one of the best days ever. Like you're guaranteed a great day. For me, it's the environment. It's like every single person you're around is successful in their own way. They've worked hard to get where they are. and they're social people. Like, you don't go in a golf community with all this stuff if you're not a social person that like likes to interact and have fun and like meet people and all that. So for me, every time I go up to that clubhouse, it's like you're introduced or you're around a crew of people with the energy and character that's just like you. Work my butt off to get where I'm at. And this is something I love to do, is golf and be in a community with people that do the same thing I've done. And so every person you talk to, it's like you're like talking to a mirror. It's like, everyone's like just kind of is living their dream. Like they've achieved success in however way, and now we're all enjoying it together. So everyone's enjoying it together. And I think that's so cool. And what I notice every time I'm out here is just everyone has worked their butts off and everyone's just enjoying life together. And that's what I love. And as you see, I'm sure at all the locations and all the properties, like everywhere you go, everyone's just that energy.
It's inspiring for sure, right? To be around that. And yeah, I mean, I would totally agree. I mean, I think inspiring is the perfect word. It's like, especially as like a youngin', just being around it, like someone who's just like still in school at an early age, like it's like, that's what I want to be. Like that, like, and in order to get there, like you said, you got to work your ass off to get there. And that's kind of been the philosophy my whole life is, the bar is, you can't even see the bar because it's in the sky. And that's what you got to live up to, and that's what you got to reach. And there's a lot of like enjoying the journey on the way. Absolutely. For sure. But still holding high standards for yourself, because if you don't, nothing's going to happen without hard work. Like that's still rule number one. But yeah, it's like, we haven't gone up to the Roadhouse, the restaurant up there, one time without every single person saying hi and hanging out and talking about Will's dog Penny. Just everyone's so cool, man. It's the best.
And
there is that mutual respect, right? Like you said, it's like
absolutely
you treat people how you want to be treated.
Absolutely, And to add to what you said, for me, like growing up and where I'm at now, I think it's so important to surround yourself with people that make you better. Like, when you're kind of in that 18 to 24 range, you meet a lot of people that don't really make you better, that you think they do, but they don't. And then you mature and you figure it out kind of. But, I take a lot of pride in surrounding myself with people that make you better. And to me, these communities and Troubadour, for me, it's just filled with that. It's filled with people that make you better. And even if like they're not your best friend, they do something that inspires you or that you can learn from, and that to me it's so contagious at these properties, and it's so motivating, and it's such a cool spot to be.
Yeah, it's very in line with how you show up as a player, right? Too. It's even within your own life and the community out here. Just since we've been here, we've probably met 30 new people, that either we knew of or that I knew of or hadn't met yet.
Or heard of their company.
Heard of them, something. And everyone's been so cool, man. And it's been so much fun, and everyone has great stories. And stories from this place, from Troubadour, And almost every house has a guitar that I've seen inside, even if they don't play.
Some good music around here, dude.
Yeah.
A couple of parties, there's some cool people that'll grab a guitar.
That's great.
I want to do an after party at Killen's house at some point. I heard they're fun. I'm going to chip in his backyard. He's got that great chipping area.
I'm pretty sure he leaves his door open, so he could just go and start one.
Hell yeah.
We heard that you can hear his sound system from anywhere on the property.
I believe it.
Is that what they said? Yeah, I believe it.
That's cool, man. Have you been to other Discovery properties?
Yeah, I've been to Baker's. I've been to El Dorado and went to Chileno in January. Went to Gauzer a couple years back because you guys had Hully on. Me and Hully were partners for that tournament. What a time that was.
Great tourney.
What a legend that guy is, dude.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Legend.
Yeah. He is hilarious, man.
Legend.
Yeah, and just like a beast.
So I'm a hockey player, obviously, and could show up to Gauzer Ranch. So I wasn't like his first invite. I'll clear that. He had like some guys he asked to bring that just couldn't make it, and he was like, "Oh, I'll ask this kid if he wants to come golf. All he knows I love golf and whatever." So he invites me out, and I had stuff going on, but I'm like, I'm not missing this. Like, I'm playing it. Like, if I knew I was going to be friends with Brett Hall, like when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh. So, like, show up to Gosser. We'll go up to the clubhouse first morning and walk in for breakfast. And Gretzky and Rick Tocchet come sit down and have breakfast. And I'm just like, morning. Like, morning, guys. I'm like, this is incredible. And then they're both telling me, like, hey, you got to, like, change your stick tape. Like, you got to do this. And I'm like, all right. Like, I guess I better listen to these two. Oh, yeah, I can't thank Holly enough for just inviting me out there and experience, like, what a place that was. And I can't even think of where else I've been.
If Wayno gives advice, it doesn't matter what it is, you got to take it.
I'm like,
Absolutely.
I don't even play hockey, and I'm going to throw that tape on my stick.
Yeah, exactly.
I did.
Yeah,
I was 10 years in the league, and I'm like, I use white tape, and I only do like half my blade. I'm like, weird. And they're like, dude, you got to use black tape. You got to use the full blade, tape the whole stick. And I'm like, all right. I mean, if Holly and Gretzky are saying that to me, I'm like, all right, I'm doing it.
Oh, and you actually did it?
I did it.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I came into last year. The story gets better. So I come into last year, and for like 2 months I was using it. I got used to it. And then, because it's weird, like it's for your eye, it's like weird change. And so I go like 15 games without a goal. I'm leading the NHL in grade A opportunities, it's called, like the dumb analytics stuff. So like high-end scoring chances, and I don't have a goal. And so I'm like, hey, those guys have no idea what they're talking about. Go back to my tape, and I scored like the first game back. I'm like, those guys are idiots. But I was so bummed. I'm like, I couldn't score. I'm like, and I was getting all these chances, and I don't know.
Oh, and then that was it. You went back and you
I
were
went
fine.
back, and I got back to it a bit.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah. Do you think that's just because you're so used to your way of doing it with white tape,
I
half blade?
have no idea, but like, moral of the story is I'm sitting having breakfast with Gretzky and Holly. I'm like, okay, I gotta try this. Like, I'd be an idiot not to.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
What do we got to look forward to? What do you got in the near future?
Oh, near future. I just started the off season, so be a bunch of golfing, just hanging, having some fun. I'm going back to Vancouver, where I'm from, for a few weeks. Me and my little brother, we do a charity golf tournament for our local hospital. It's been going on for a while, so that's get back for that and do that. With COVID, I haven't been back there for a while, so that'll be awesome.
What's the name of the tournament?
It's Eagle Ridge Hospital Foundation, and so it's a small hospital. I'm kind of in a small town suburb outside Vancouver, and they want to do a bunch of expansions, so they asked me and my brother to come on and help it out, and we did, and it just exploded. So it's been a great feeling to do that and be a part of that and help out. And
very cool.
And then I'm turning 30 in July.
When's your birthday?
So July 31st.
Oh, okay. I'm 10th.
Nice. So we got a golf trip. We're going to that Paynes Valley. You know, heard of that?
Yeah.
I haven't done that. So I was like, let's try something new and do that. And
oh, yeah.
so we're doing that, and then that's about it as of now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like almost summer. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, it is summer for me now. It's my off season. And it's like 95 degrees out right now. So
Yeah.
Basically summer, yeah.
Depends
Fuck
on, it depends where you're at. Mm-hmm. Man, yeah. Any traveling or anything coming up?
No, other than that stuff.
Yeah.
Couple little things, but
it's just hard to get out of Troubadour.
I know it's hard to leave this place.
Yeah.
Like we were talking, like there's something to do. Like there's Bieber tonight, there's Kid Rock Saturday, there's Kenny Chesney the following Saturday, there's golfing and all this stuff.
They started listening. Like we've had a few conversations now with people who are part of the property, and just the amenities here are like, and then to say that they're not even what they're gonna be too.
The clubhouse hasn't even started getting built yet.
It's like 82,000 square feet. Like this is insane.
Yeah. 25,000 square foot pool. Like
you said, like 16 bars or something like that. Whatever it is, gonna
50
be
TVs in the locker room for football and hockey.
Man,
and, golf.
It's gonna be special. It already is special, but it's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell yeah, bro.
Dude.
Hell yeah.
We really appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man. I'm happy for you guys. It's awesome. Happy you guys are out here, get to experience this and meet all these guys out here. There's a bunch of tremendous people out here, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your time.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, bud.
Awesome,
Appreciate
boys.
you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.